3 seconds, 2 seconds. McNeely fires it. A three at the horn, and it's over. Florida survives. They're going to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2017.
Coach, I could see the emotions on your face. I know this was a difficult one. You guys had them. You fought so hard, mucked it up. You said you made it a Big East game.
Yeah.
What happened down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, they showed their quality. I mean, I thought we played with tremendous honor. I thought we played with the heart of a championship program and a program that's gone back-to-back. And, for a team to end, what we really wanted to do, they were going to have to put us down. And, obviously a worthy opponent.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hallal and Hickey Show, live Wednesdays 2 to 4. We are back. It's been some time, but we're finally here. That's kind of what they call me, the Sexy Red song. Anyways, Jack Hallal, Declan Hickey. What are you guys doing today? Oh, there goes the mic a little bit. New mic stand, so things will happen, I guess, slowly. Guys, how are you feeling today back in the studio?
I feel great. It's good to be back. We had I think a well-deserved week off.
Yeah.
And much needed.
Or two, yeah, sorry.
Right. Actually, much needed 2 weeks off, but we should be every Wednesday. We should be here on out every Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to it. We'll get back in the swing of things.
Declan, how you doing?
I'm good. We haven't had this a show in a while, so it'll be really interesting. So we see what we got going. So yeah, it's going to be on a normal schedule from here on out, barring anything else happens. But yeah, excited. March Madness happened this weekend, so We're going to get into that.
So Declan, let's get right into it. How did March Madness go for you, and anything exciting you, upsets-wise? Take me through it.
Well, our bracket's cooked, like everyone is. My team that I picked to win the championship got bounced out in the second round, so that was really fun, very fun. Not that many upsets, but I think overall there were. I don't know. I think only there were probably 5 really good games. The rest of them are watchable, but it was kind of a team would go down, it would be tied at the first half, and then the team with the higher seed would just run away with it every single time.
Jack, thoughts on March Madness?
Yeah, I mean, look, March Madness is always going to be March Madness. It's always going to have the March Madness hype around it, rightfully so. But I will say this year I've kind of been disappointed. Not a whole lot of upsets as we've seen in recent years. It's kind of just been, the good teams taking care of business, which, it's basketball, right? I mean, that happens, and if you're, one seed, really, you always should take care of business, right? But it's always cool to see some upsets and to see some Cinderella stories. Just haven't had one this year, but it's going to be interesting to see. My bracket is toast, and I was actually perfect through halfway through the first day, and then, Unfortunately, Montana lost to Wisconsin, and that was the end of the hopes. But I have the Gators winning the whole thing, and a little scare with UConn, but they got it done, and we'll see what happens.
No, but I think this tournament, people have opened up the argument. It's all because of NIL, and I understand that argument. But to be fair, it hasn't been that big of a sample size with NIL and the tournament. This is only the second year of there being fully NIL with the tournament. I know it's a big deal. But there were bright points in this tournament so far. If people watched the Colorado State Maryland game, it was actually the first buzzer beater of the of the tournament. Crazy game, by the way. Colorado State made a 35 foot a 3-pointer to win the game, and then Derek Queen for the Terrapins.
Yeah,
kid from Baltimore, right from Baltimore, told them in the press conference, he told them in the huddle to give him the ball, and he made the shot from a mid-range, a little bank shot for game.
Yeah. I mean, look, that stuff's always cool to see, and it's always you feel good for the kids who are on the worst team that beat the best team. You always feel good for them, but yeah, I mean, look, Duke's still in it, Florida's still in it. Houston's still in it. All these powerhouses are still in it.
People could say that's boring because people don't like when there's one seeds in it. I don't really like when there's all one seeds in it either.
I don't either, but I think it's definitely this year has kind of shown just who the powerhouses are, and that they really deserve to be the one seed.
But I think the only Cinderella that there could be is probably Arkansas. Is the only Cinderella kinda, even though they're in a top 4 like conference anyways. So they're kind of not really like a like underdog or like a Cinderella. They kind of just, I don't know. They are the 10th seed, but it's kind of like weird because they're in such a good conference, so they're not a real Cinderella. Or like a team from the Mountain West, or like a team from like the A10 or the AAC. Like that would be a kind of team that would be like a Cinderella. Yeah. Not really Arkansas because they have like one of the better coaches in college basketball history.
Right. No, I mean I completely agree, and I think it was cool to see. It was cool to see kind of the Arkansas team, beat that St. John's team, and with obviously Coach Cal's first year as a Razorback and seeing what he's done so far, it's cool to see, and but again, it's the Sweet 16 now, and it's anyone's ball game.
Yeah, and we can also look forward to there's some pretty good matchups though that are going to be in this weekend in the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
and the Elite 8. I think there's going to be some great matchups. My predictions, because there's a thing on ESPN where you can do like a second chance bracket.
Right.
I went with Duke winning it. I think there's no way to stop that powerhouse.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I just think it's hard for freshmen to lead their team, when they're the best player.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it with Zion, we saw it with RJ, and we saw it with Cam Reddish. They were all freshmen, and they got bounced in March. So
yeah, but there's also been instances where there have been freshmen that have taken.
Yeah, I just think it's less likely for freshmen to win.
I want to say that Melo was a freshman, but I don't know if I'm exactly right on that.
He could have been. No, he could have been.
I want to say that Melo was a freshman when he did it.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's happened before, but it's obviously with UConn, the best player on UConn last year and the year before were upperclassmen.
Okay, yeah, true.
So
true.
Obviously the freshmen won it, but they weren't the number one guy.
No, I understand because teams
are
getting way more seniors this year.
Right, exactly.
Because of the NIL, and now if you have a big enough donor to your team, you can just go out and just get whoever you want, which is kind of what St. John's has been doing, because I know they have a very wealthy donor in their ranks, and they can just use that to try to buy the player they want.
Right. Exactly. Similar to what we see with these college football powerhouses, by just buying players.
Yeah, that's what it's turned into. Now, I don't think there might be less Cinderellas, but I don't think there'll be none. I think it might be more of a rare occurrence,
right? But
I still think there will be some. But there's so many interesting storylines going into the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be interesting to see Duke versus Arizona. Mm-hmm. That could be interesting to me because it could be a blowout, or it's either going to be a really close game.
Yeah,
one of those. We get to see more of Derek Queen. He's another freshman who's probably going to go top 10 in the draft. You get to see more of Cooper Flagg, obviously the number 1 pick of the draft. So yeah, very interesting thing that happens. You get to have Duke's many prospects that they have. That I think they have about 3 players that are going to go in the top 10, with a Knuppel and one other person. I can't remember his name. And they also have Proctor on their team, so that Duke team's
good.
A big powerhouse.
Yeah, for sure.
So now we wrap up just a little bit talking about March Madness, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more next week about it as well. A big piece of this is Kristian Campbell, the Red Sox new opening day second baseman, has made the roster per Alex Cora and Mass Live Chris Cotillo. We'll take a look take a listen at Kristian Campbell and what he's feeling like getting onto this roster.
3-1. Hammered into center field. Casey with a long run. Still moving back. It's over his head. And that ball is going to be out of here. Kristian Campbell. It just took off to center over that 400-foot mark and onto the batter's eye. And the Red Sox with a pair of home runs in the first inning.
That was a dream come true for sure. It was really exciting. I had to call my family, call my mom, dad, brother, and sister, let everybody know. But it was cool.
What was their reaction?
They were yelling on the phone. They were super excited for me. It's definitely something I worked for my whole life, so it's really special.
Red Sox now in a big position to potentially win the American League. It has been an off-season of question marks leading up to exactly what they need to do. They got their right-handed bat. They signed Garrett Crochet. or they traded for him, now looking to extend him. Declan, thoughts on this opening day, and then we'll run through a list of our predictions for every single potential award. Let's say team awards. Not everybody can actually win them, but give me some thoughts on the preseason, and then we'll talk about the team positional and also Jack's thoughts as well with the young player coming up the team. Declan?
Yeah, I'm very excited. We got, obviously we got opening day tomorrow of the season. Not the home opener, but we got the opener versus the Rangers. Always exciting. They're probably going to have Nathan Eovaldi on the mound, so it'll be interesting to see a former Red Sox going against this new Red Sox team that's been almost revitalized. I'm very excited. I'm very glad that a guy like Kristian Campbell made the team. It's very exciting to see a guy like him make the team. It was also exciting in the preseason to see guys like Anthony, to see guys like a Marcelo Meyer, just to see all of it. Also a surprising, fun face to see in that preseason was Skylar Thompson, I think that's his name.
Skylar Thompson?
That's not his first name.
You're talking about Trace Thompson?
Trace
Thompson. He's not here anymore, but...
Trace Thompson, but it was so fun to see him.
It was cool to watch, yeah.
Very excited. We got Kristian Campbell. We got a new second baseman on the roster. It's very exciting. They've really improved this pitching rotation. I'm very excited for this upcoming season so far. So yeah, it's going to be a fun 4 days to open the season.
Jack, a new guy added to the potential realm of Red Sox Nation, not really a Boston or a baseball guy yourself. On the outside looking in, and I'll give you kind of the rundown of what this lineup looks like now. I mean, from the top bottom, you got Jarren Duran in center field, hitting second in Alex Bregman at third base, hitting second at DH is Rafi Devers. At third base, after this whole saga, there goes Alex Bregman, also hitting third. And batting cleanup and Tristan Casas at first base. And then the rest of the orders we'll see what happens. You have Kristian Campbell at second base. You have Trevor Story at shortstop and left field. Duran will actually play left field. Cedane Rafaela in center. Willie Abreu in right. And then your opening day starter, Garrett Crochet, who's throwing 99-mile-per-hour fastballs, had over 30 Ks in spring training, walked 7 guys about. He's been unbelievable. On the outside looking in, MLB.com, ESPN writers, Bleacher Report, and The Athletic all have the Red Sox winning the American League now after a full offseason. What's your feelings towards the team, especially a guy that has been so anti-establishment with John Henry?
Yeah, it's first and foremost, it's great that Kristian Campbell made the team. Obviously, all these the 3 prospects we have are all great, but he showed the most in preseason, and he got the spot for a reason. He worked hard for it. And I think he's going to be great. If you look at the history of Red Sox and the young guys, we've produced a lot of really good young guys. You guys might correct me if I'm wrong, please, but I think, did we produce Mookie Betts? We produced, I think, Xander Bogaerts. We also produced, let's see,
Dustin Pedroia.
Yeah, we produced these really good young guys that turned out to be great and won us a championship. I actually didn't know that Bregman is now playing third base. I don't know. Yeah,
so to put it a little bit more in the loop for you, Bregman played third base throughout the entirety of spring training. Devers elected to kind of play whenever he felt he needed to play after his kind of health was, for him, he wanted to feel his best. And Cora made the decision himself. He said, we're a team here. We got to play team baseball. And we kind of knew from the beginning that Devers was going to say bye to that position that he loves very much, even though, he's complained a bit and said, I played third. He talked about it. And
does he is he okay with being a DH?
I don't think he's okay with it, but I think he'll be able to adjust to it. He's done it all spring training. I think his mindset of this is, well, if Bregman plays well, they're going to stick him there. They're going to play him there. Once he feels fully healthy to play defense, we'll kind of see what the vibe is like, and if Devers would want to play the field. I just don't think if they're on such a roll that they're even going to let that happen.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. But look, it's great. It's been great to see kind of the success the Red Sox have had. And again, I know it's preseason, but they went out and got, they got guys. They got Bregman, and my dad who really used to be a big Sox guy, started kind of, starting to distance himself from the team and just baseball in general. But he's been to hundreds of postseason games at Fenway, and he always says there's nothing like a October in Fenway Park.
Never.
And I think it says a lot. I've been to a lot of postseason MLB games at Fenway, and he's right. I mean, the night atmosphere in October in Fenway is nothing like it. And I think to bring that back to the fans is important. I think Bregman wants to experience that in October. And, I mean, he has, being in the hostile.
He's never missed a postseason.
Yeah.
So
it's going to – but, I mean, he experienced how loud it can be towards the Astros.
Exactly.
You know, so he's going to experience the love this year. But, yeah, I mean, it's going to be cool to see. Again, it's always good to be going to Fenway Park in October, and there's nothing like it. So I'm really hoping for an AL East, title. I don't know if that's what you call it.
That's what you'd say. Yeah?
Okay.
Pennant. It's a pennant race. Yeah.
And I hope for I think what Cora's done has been amazing. I think he's truly a great manager, and I think that's. I don't know about you guys. I think that's a big part of why Bregman wanted to play. He has a connection with Cora. I don't think it's amazing, but I think Cora was the assistant manager of the Astros.
He was bench coach. Yeah,
bench coach.
He was with Cora, or he was with Bregman and the rest of the guys throughout the entire season. So I mean, you're sitting in there, you're kind of like a player. Now, Declan, we talk about it. I mean, this is when you walk into a season, and Jack brought it up. Now, when you actually have expectation, how much does that change the outlook of the season now for the Sox? And now that we'll talk about in a bit about how all these writers have the Red Sox winning the AL and being the first seed in the playoffs, what does that do to the team, and how much can you get behind that now having expectation?
I think there are going to be massive expectations. It's a very big deal to go from a team from last year that was a team that was not supposed to make the playoffs at all. They were supposed to be in the bottom of their division. It was supposed to be in the bottom. No, but I'm saying before the season, they were supposed to.
Oh yeah, stink.
Not be good. They're supposed to be bottom 5 and a bunch of stuff. So to go from a team and have the expectations of being a team not that great to a team that might be a favorite to win the pennant is definitely
it's a big jump.
Is definitely a very big deal. They were a team last year that they definitely exceeded expectations last year. I think they're going to try to exceed expectations this year. They're going to try to win a pennant and maybe win a World Series if I don't get too far ahead of myself. But yeah, I think there is pressure that you put on yourselves every year when you're a favorite to win your pennant and you're a favorite to win the division. I think you're always going to have pressure on you no matter what.
Right. And I don't mean to interrupt. If you want
to, no, keep going. Yeah, go.
Well, I was just going to say, it's a great point that that Chuck asked, but I think. Not only with the Red Sox, but I think if you play for a team in Boston in general, I think there's always that kind of pressure to win.
Obviously.
But again, I think for the guys who have been here, Devers and a few others, I think they want to get back to that October atmosphere so badly that I think they'll do whatever it takes to win, and I think this team is going to perform at a high level, and I think we did all the right things we needed to do in preseason and in the offseason, and I'm honestly looking forward. Again, like Chuck mentioned, I was never a big John Henry guy. I still never am, or I'm still not. But hey, he did offer Juan Soto. It's not like he didn't. He did, and obviously him and his organization and his guys got together and made some moves. So it was cool to see, and I don't know if he was receiving any backlash from fans or whatnot, but he did what fans wanted him to do. So you got to give him credit, and we'll see where this team goes.
It's going to be fun to see what the team does this season. And also, you see how blown out this camera is. We'll get that figured out in a bit. But I think the big piece of this is now our predictions for positional candidates and what they will do. And I'll bring those up on my phone real quick. Mm-hmm. And we'll start down with you, Declan, as I have to scroll right back up to find this in a text conversation. Who is going to be your Red Sox MVP this season? Who will be the best player on the squad? This doesn't mean league players. It just means on the team. MVP just to start down the line.
There's an obvious pick. I think I'm gonna go with my personal favorite. And I think he's gonna have an even better season than last year. I'm going Jeremy Duran. Coming off of his a career year last year, getting that All-Star Game MVP, having a great season. I want to say he was top 5 in WAR, but I don't know if
he was top 3 in WAR.
Top 3 in WAR. Yeah. So I think he'll improve off that, and I think he'll probably be the Red Sox MVP, kind of like he was last year. I feel like he was.
Jack, who do you got for Sox MVP this season?
Wow.
Just to give you kind of a list of names so I can get you enriched.
I think I watched a total of 1 inning last year.
That's fine. Last year doesn't matter no more. This season's roster includes, we can go top to bottom. I guess we'll start at first base and Tristan Casas, second base Kristian Campbell, shortstop Trevor Story, third base Alex Bregman, left field Jaron Duran, center field Cedane Rafaela, right field Willie Abreu. The catching duties go to Connor Wong. And then DH Rafi Devers. Your rotation looks like this. Garrett Crochet just to begin the season as your ace, or not to begin, but the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. At your 2, Tanner Houck. At your 3, Walker Buehler. At your 4 to open the season is Richard Dick Fitz. And at 5, Sean Newcomb, a Brockton native, pitching in the 5 spot. And then your bullpen includes closer this to open the season, Aroldis Chapman. Your setup guy, a guy like Justin Slayton, and then the rest are kind of relievers like, we'll talk about, but not as much because they're kind of just relievers, and it's not really that important, but some do a really good job, and they fill the need you need per inning basis. So I'll give you that, and I think out of that group, you can kind of pick some of the stars that are with the team.
Yeah, I think if I were to put money on 2 guys who I think
it's got to be one guy. It's your MVP.
Yeah, it's gotta be
well,
one.
I'm saying to narrow it down to 2 guys, it'd be Devers and Duran. But I think, as none of these listeners are on campus with us, but Chuck is, Declan and I disagree with a lot of things, and he went with Duran, so I think I'm going to just go with Devers just to kind of keep things interesting.
Okay.
But I also think, look, we obviously know what he's capable. I mean, he can mash the ball, and I think he's a great hitter.
That's all he does.
And so I think we'll see him as a DH kind of turn into a Dave Ortiz, I think.
Yeah, sure.
And so I think it'll be interesting, but that's my MVP is Devers.
My MVP of the season is going to be Alex Bregman. I think he's going to absolutely kill the wall, and I'm sure he'll have a really good season in him to the point where he might opt out and get a bigger contract. But I think that's my MVP. Now for Cy Young. Cy Young is the best pitcher in the American League. Now, of course, Cy Young for only the Boston Red Sox. Mm-hmm. Who's your Cy Young candidate for the year? And this is a pretty obvious one.
You want me to go first?
Yep, right down the line, just as always.
Probably going to be Garrett Crochet.
Of course it is.
Obvious pick because he's been the best pitcher in the preseason. Obviously, Tanner Houck's a guy, but I don't think Tanner Houck's as good. I think, but you gotta give credit to him. He did have probably one of his best years last year, actually finally making
first time as a starter.
Yeah, finally making the All-Star game as a starter, finally breaking through. So very proud of him. But I think Garrett Crochet is the obvious pick.
Jack,
I agree. I think I don't know a whole lot about this pitching rotation, but I mean, I follow the Red Sox on Instagram. I follow, MLB and all that stuff, and I've seen some videos of his pitches during preseason. He looks really good, so I think I'm just gonna keep riding the hot hand.
We're gonna go on the train as well. Of course, Garrett Crochet. This big part of this, and I've spoken to people within the organization as well as people outside of it about the extension, and they're pretty far away. They wanted to get something done now, but Crochet's a mean type of guy. I mean, he is not an open, communicative person. He's kind of just like, I pitch the ball, and he's a very mature person. He's not mean, but I'm saying he plays the game mean, and his demeanor is kind of like that. I mean, this spring training, he's the first in the MLB in Ks. He has 30 Ks in the entirety of spring training with a .57 ERA, at a sub-1 earned run average. It's just unbelievable. I mean, you're out there and you cannot touch his fastball. You can't touch any of his other pitches. His arm location's unbelievable. He is going to be in the Cy Young voting this season in the MLB, which is going to be incredible after starting the season with Tanner Houck last year, not knowing that he was going to be an actual good pitcher.
Yeah. Rookie
of the Year breakout. You have 3 people to choose from. One's already on the roster. Declan, who do you got?
Obviously, Kristian Campbell is probably the favorite name. But a person that I think it's very hard to say, but a person that could maybe break through the lineup, I would love to see a Roman Anthony get.
Oh yeah,
I would love to see him get that call. And I think if he gets that call, he could probably be the Rookie of the Year for the Red Sox, just because of how good he is, and just how much of an impact that I think he would make. So I'm going to go with Roman Anthony.
I'm going to go with Kristian Campbell just because I think he has a head start in playing time. I mean, he's already on the roster, and he's going to be playing starting day one. So I think that matters, and I think the reps early are going to continue and show his success throughout the year. So I'm going to go Kristian Campbell.
Some of the best bat to ball skills out of any rookie we'd probably ever seen in Kristian Campbell. played really well in Mexico. He actually, the clip you had heard to top off the show, he hit a ball. He hasn't pulled any home runs. All the home runs he's hit have been dead center. I mean, he's hitting 400-foot home runs. It just looks like line drives. It's unbelievable. The kid looks like a stud. He said the player he looked up to growing up was Mookie Betts. So it's always good to hear that, especially for a guy that wish we kept a guy like that. For me, I got two. Of course, I'm going to go Kristian Campbell because he's got the opening day start, like we said, got a quicker opportunity to get going. Also, just my sleeper candidate for Rookie of the Year would be a guy like Luis Guerrero, who we saw pitch last season. He could potentially be the Red Sox future at the closer position. He is unbelievable. He's a flamethrower of an arm. Just a great character, I think. I wish he made the bullpen, but a couple guys ahead of him. Potentially down the road, we see guys like Brian Bayo and Lucas Giolito get back into the rotation. Maybe we see a guy like him come up. And now for breakout. Who's your player to break out this season? Declan, we'll start with you.
I don't know, kind of like a breakout. He had a great a rookie year last year. He had a pretty solid year. Not really a breakout, but I'm going to go with Cedar Rafaela.
That's a breakout.
Really? You think?
Yeah, it is 100%.
Even though he had a great rookie year last year?
He had an okay year. He led the league in strikeouts. So,
so
you can have a breakout. Yeah, you could have a breakout season.
It's really not great, but he was in that rookie race a little bit, I think, earlier in the year he was.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm going to go with him as breakout. He's he's already a great fielder. He's very... I'm gonna go with him because I feel like he can improve his batting numbers. He can improve his hitting. Kind of reminds me of a guy like JBJ.
Sure.
Back when he was first on the Red Sox, he was a great fielder. Couldn't hit the ball.
Yeah.
But then he did figure it out. So I'm gonna go with Cedar Rafaela to be breakout for the Red Sox.
Jack, who's your breakout?
Yeah, I was really gonna pick him too. Some part of me wants to pick Trevor Story, but
that'd be a good one.
He can't stay healthy.
Yep.
Which is a bit of a concern. So I think because he can't stay healthy, I'm also going to go Sedane. I think he's a great fielder. Obviously, he had some hitting struggles last year, but I think I can see it, and I think I haven't heard a lot of talk about him, but
he's been unbelievable this spring training.
And he also had great moments last year too. And,
sure.
He had some very clutch moments in the season last year.
Yeah. And he's he's seen it, and he's been there. So I think to watch him, be on the lookout for him as a breakout guy is that's my pick.
His biggest flaw is strikeouts in this entire spring training. He has really toned down the strikeouts and walked a lot, which is good to see from him. My breakout candidate is Tristan Casas. It's been 2 seasons of up and down injuries. Rookie season was very good. If he doesn't hit more than 20 home runs, you can book it now. The Red Sox will move on from him and sign Vlad Guerrero Jr. That's just how it's going to go. They don't like the guy personally. They don't like his play on the field sometimes. They don't like what he's doing off the field, even though he's just being himself. I'm the biggest Tristan Casas believer. I've been behind him since he was in Worcester, watched him in Single A in Greenville back in the day. So, he's 2018 draft class pick. I really hope he breaks out. And for regression, that's our last one before we do record, before we're kind of inching on the break. So give me one player for regression. You don't have to explain it. Just give me a player that you could see regress.
Player for regression?
No explanation, just to hit. We're running on the break now.
First name comes to mind. I don't think I'll have as good a season. I'm going to go Connor Wong.
Okay, Connor Wong. Jack?
I think Connor Wong's atrocious.
Whoa.
I'm going to go, he's one of the worst catchers in the MLB when it comes to framing, so sure. I'm going to go Jarren Duran. You cannot replicate a season he just had. It's just physically impossible. If he does it, he's in the MVP run. So I think he's going to regress. Not too much, but I'm sure he won't be as still be a freak on the base paths, but I don't know about the season he had. And now record predictions. There's 162 games. You don't just give me wins. Don't have to give me losses because we won't do that. Declan, how many wins for this team?
I'm going to go with 90.
Jack?
I was going to go 93.
I'm just going to go in between. I'll go 92. Go 92 wins. I think the most they'll get this season is 95. Do we all agree they're going to win the American League East?
Yes.
I think yes, but I think it could be a very close race for Baltimore.
I think
it's
the Orioles got worse and they don't have a good rotation, so I'm going to go American League East winners.
I want to add something.
I mean, I still think they're going to win, but I still think that Orioles team's still good enough to.
I
make
don't
some
think the
kind of run.
rotation's good enough to hold back, to be honest
I still
with
think
you.
they're somewhat good enough, though.
Who's their number 1 starter? Who's number 2 starter? Who's
Now,
number 3
I'm
starter?
not big on the Orioles like names, but like I just know they have good experience.
It's not a good rotation, unfortunately. But I see what you're saying. Jack?
I think the hitting's there.
I was just gonna say I do think we're gonna win quickly. I think we're gonna win the AL East, and I think in order to do that, I think if we start out on top, I think we're gonna just cruise our way.
That's how I feel, too.
If we maybe fall behind, maybe not, but we gotta start on top and just keep going.
Well, that's all we got for the Red Sox corner. They look good. Declan's still a little worried about those Orioles, despite that, whatever that rotation is. We'll be back for more here on the Hall and Hickey Show shortly. After this 5-minute break, we'll be talking Celtics. Don't go nowhere.
You're listening to the Hallal and Hickey Show, Wednesdays 2 to 4, only on WMLN.
Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path, because when you talk, they hear you. Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Ernie Johnson and Charles Barkley welcoming you back to Susan's Cubicle here in Accounts Payable. What an afternoon of non-stop bookkeeping action, Charles. Are you kidding me? She set herself a reminder to get out of that chair and move.
That's a smart use of a timeout.
She's still reading her emails while getting her heart rate up and moving her muscles. Healthy habits could lower your risk of cancer.
That's a crazy move.
Stand Up to Cancer and Optum want to help you reduce your risk for cancer. Visit takeahealthystand.org.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Veterans, did you lose your job due to the COVID-19 pandemic? The Veteran Rapid Retraining Assistance Program is a short-term VA program that offers education and training for high-demand jobs. These jobs provide higher starting wages and require less time for education and training. The sooner you apply, the sooner you can start on your new path. You served your country. Let VA serve you. Apply today. For more information, visit va.gov/VRRAP.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
I felt so alone, scared, angry. I just wanted to die. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
I had this illness that really made me powerless over alcohol. I can't say to anyone, no, don't drink. But I can say that when you decide you don't want to drink, the door to AA is always open.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
Would you know what to do in a poison emergency? Would you know whom to call? Well, the answer is Poison Help. 1-800-222-1222. Poison Help is a 24/7 government hotline staffed by poison experts. It's free to call and available in over 100 languages. Every second counts in a poison emergency. Don't waste it wondering who to call. Save Poison Help in your phone today. 1-800-222-1222.
Hi, it's Tori DeVito. Small conversations can have a big impact on your child's decision to not drink alcohol and use other drugs. For tips and other resources on having a conversation, visit Talk They Hear You at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
No one in AA said to me, "Why would a nice young girl with such a great future drink so much?" They said, "Welcome, come in and sit down. We know how you feel."
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
Did we dodge a bullet? How do you think they should handle this?
Yeah, I know. I don't know if you saw me at my desk last night. I kind of fell over. 'Cause, the one feeling is always the only thing that can really derail this thing for the Celtics is not being healthy. And then that's no disrespect to the Cavs, to OKC, but you just feel like if the Celtics are whole, they have a really good chance to repeat. And so when I see Tatum go down, I'm like, no, this can't be. We flash back to 2023, the Miami finish there. So let's hope. The fact that I never thought I'd be so excited that someone was able to put on 2 shoes instead of just one.
Euphoria.
We welcome you back to WMLN 91.5 Curry College Radio. The Hallal and Hickey Show is always live Wednesdays 2 to 4 only on WMLN. You can catch our video on demand on YouTube at Hallal and Hickey. That's Hallal and Hickey, A-N-D. Jack, Declan, Jason Tatum goes down with an ankle injury. Looks okay. He was in the locker room laughing and talking to his teammates. He's going to be out tonight, I'm guessing. He's doubtful. How are you guys feeling about the Celtics squad? The Cavs dropped 4 straight? They finally picked their first one up yesterday. It's basketball. It's going to happen. I'll start with you, Jack. How you feeling about the Celtics squad? And you can also give your guys' take as well. Jack, how you doing?
Good. Yeah. No, look, it was a scary injury for sure. Tatum rolled his ankle, and it didn't look good, obviously. Did he hit the free throws? Or did he go to the locker room right after?
He hit his free throws and went away.
Okay.
And he made the shot.
Yeah, he made the shot too. That was incredible. I feel good about the Celtic team. I don't think I can say I feel amazing. I think I feel good. And I think one big thing to point out is I think I can really start to see Al Horford's age this year. And it's fine. I mean, he's a 38-year-old man. Like, not everyone at 38 can look like LeBron, for just an example, or like a Chris Paul or whatever. But I think his age is starting to show, and obviously Porzingis is he has some health issues, and he battles injury, and it's gonna be interesting to see this postseason. I think the Cavs are starting to kind of become less confident in the teams they can beat, and now maybe after that 4-game losing streak, they realize, are we as good as we think? But I have a avid Celtic fan cousin who just texted me his Celtic take, and he said his name's Josh from Cumberland, Rhode Island. Obviously, he texted it as if if he could call, because we don't our phone lines don't work. But
I hit our text line.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It says he says, "Do we really think the Cavs are capable of beating this Celtics team? Do we think OKC can beat this Celtics team 4 times? Is a championship aspirations and the hope of going back-to-back still very much alive, or will we not be able to repeat? Also, should the Celtics start to load manage stars until the end of the year, as they seem to have second place wrapped up?" I think it's a good point, because especially now with Tatum, like, if that happened, like we all know, if you get more and more ankle injuries, sometimes your ankles become weaker, and we've seen it with Steph, and he's had ankle issues his whole career. But I think it's a good point. I mean, I don't hate that take. I think it's, again, any team's going to have a hard time beating the Celtic team in 4 games, I think, with a full healthy squad. But I think in order to make sure we get a full healthy squad, I think it is important that we might need to load manage. I don't hate that idea. I mean, I think we do have the second seed wrapped up. I don't think there's really any point for us to play all of our starters and for the rest of the season and try to get the 1 seed. I think we just settle with the 2 seed, rest them for the postseason, see what we can do.
Yeah, I don't mind the load management. I don't think they're going to completely rest Tatum, though, for the rest of the season, though.
No, maybe a couple games for now.
I think a game they would like to get him ready for is the game that's in like a week from now, the game on Monday versus the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Because I think that'll be that'll be a pretty important game for the Celtics because it's kind of like their last big, like a competitive game, other than the next game they have in April. But yeah, that's like one of their two like a competitive games that they have left in the season. I think they will low manage a little bit with Tatum just because obviously he's not going to play tonight. I don't know what the next game said. Like I know that like Joe Mazzulla said, oh, like it's like not that bad. Like he didn't think it was that bad of an injury. He said that Tatum's probably going to be fine and it wasn't that big of a deal. You know, he like Chuck said, he was smiling. You know, he was like in like good spirits. You know, it seemed like everything was okay. But Jack, back to what you said about the load management. I don't think that's a crazy idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've been doing it. They also been doing that with like a Kristaps Porzingis with his illness that he came back. But shout out to Kristaps. Kristaps has played really, really well in these games he's come back. I think he's gotten over 20 points each game. I think in what he's played, you know, he's been phenomenal. I think the Celtics team is cruising right now, even with Tatum not playing. They're still a great team, but come playoff time, they would need him, of course.
I think an important question for both you, Chuck, and Declan would be, you know, do you entertain the idea of maybe for a few games, like resting Al and putting in, especially when Porzingis can't go, resting Al and maybe starting Keita and see how it goes, or you know, Cornet or whatnot. But also, I think we should play Craig more. Like I think he can take someone's role if Derek White is sitting
Craig
out.
has played like more minutes though. Like he's
getting more minutes.
More, yeah,
he's not bad.
No, he's not bad. He's good, like 3 dig off the bench. I know that he's been playing better. Even like Baylor Shireman's been playing way better. He's been getting like a lot more chances to go. In these games. I think Joe towards the end of the season likes to experiment with the lineups a bunch.
Right, exactly.
It's kind of like his thing to see like, oh, if it were a series with like a 10-man rotation, we do this, or we do a 9, or to be like, oh, do we use this center? It'd be like, oh, would we use Keita in this series more, or Cornet more?
Right.
Or use like Shireman or Craig more.
Or what teams is so-and-so better against offensively or defensively?
Yeah, but I still think they're still going to have a few more games where they want all the starters going, just so that they're in the flow of things come playoff time.
Right, exactly.
Well, guys, you talked a little bit about what the Celtics can do now, especially with Tatum on the potential horizon of sitting for a little bit. Now we're talking about playoffs. What's your vibes going into it, and how exactly can this squad win? You know, Tatum will be back. Jack, has your opinion changed at all when it comes to this Celtics group against the Cavs?
So before the Cavs went on this 4-game losing streak, I was very worried. But they've kind of been getting exposed, and you know their true colors have shown. I still think they're a great team. I think Donovan Mitchell's a great leader, and I think they have they're well coached and they're deep. But again, I think it's hard to imagine that with the roster we had last year, with a full healthy starting 5, I think it's hard for people or opposing teams to come into the Garden in April and beat us in a Game 7 if it were to come down to that. But even in 4 games, I can't see anyone winning 4 games against this team. I don't want to say it's a guaranteed repeat, but I think it's going to be hard for teams to beat us in the postseason.
I agree. You know, like we're still the best team in a 7-game series, even though like the Cavs did go 2-2 against us. The Thunder are 2-0 against us amid some controversy, but we'll get into that another time. But yeah, you know, I think there's no other team that could beat us 4 times. I don't think the Cavs could beat us. I don't think the Thunder could beat us. I don't think the Nuggets could beat us. I don't think the Lakers could beat us. There's no way the Knicks beat us, and there's no chance the Bucks are even there.
I do want to say this. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I think we win, right? I think we win. When I say this, I don't think we lose this game, but I think we win the game, but I think it's possible that we even get there. I wouldn't be I can't see it happening, but if it does, I wouldn't be surprised if a team forces us a Game 7 in Boston. I wouldn't be surprised. Like one team out of those 4 series, I would not be surprised if one of them forces us to a Game 7 and then we blow them out in Game 7.
But it's Game 7 in Boston.
Right.
You know, that's...
Right. No. I'm not saying they'll lose. I'm saying just to force a Game 7 in Boston, I can see it. I can definitely see it happening.
Series just go that way sometimes, even if I don't know. It's just like the way that like some series go. It's just like.
But we didn't have a Game 7 last season in the postseason. I don't even think did we go to 6 games even, or was it just 5?
It was all 5.
It was all 5. Yeah.
all 5.
So again, I don't think that's gonna happen again. I don't.
No, I don't think.
I think we'll see Game 6s and maybe a Game 7, but I don't see anyone beating us at the end of the day.
Okay. Well, we're running up pretty closely here. We're at good timing, anyways. Is there anything else you guys think the Celtics could potentially look to do now after this season? Now we're not looking at the postseason anymore. We have no idea what would happen. New ownership. I know you can't trust billionaires at all, but what do you think potentially the Celtics team could do? Are they, because they're kind of weird on the second apron. They don't got much money to spend. Anything they could do to switch up the team?
I don't really think so. I know there's been the rumor of, should like Kevin Durant come to the Celtics? You get the Celtics got this new owner. Is the new owner going to want to pay the luxury tax? But I don't really think there's going to be that many moves, just because I was talking about this earlier. How Wick Grossbeck, he's still the governor of the team. So it's like he's still going to be making decisions still, while the guy like William Chisholm, who's new owner, won't necessarily be making all the decisions, and he hasn't even laid out his plan either for what he's going to be doing. So I don't really think there's anything else you could really do. I think I don't know how Sam Hauser's contract looks like. I don't know if they would keep him and then maybe like rock with a guy like Barely Shireman, who does the same thing that Hauser does. He's just younger and they're paying him less. I think maybe they could get a veteran center, maybe something if Al Horford retires at the end of the season, like that. Other than that, not really.
Jack, anything?
You guys might not like this, but I think it's going to happen. I would not be surprised if Pritchard wants to be a starter somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised. He's playing great basketball.
What is he going to do? Request a trade?
Yeah. He's still under contract.
He's under contract for like 5 more seasons or 4 more seasons.
Yeah, for 4 more years. He signed the extension.
Yeah.
What did I? Okay, why are you guys on edge all of a sudden? What? I didn't know he was on.
No
contract
one's on
for
edge.
5 more seasons.
No, I'm saying, what are they going to do? Request a trade?
Yeah.
I mean,
if you're going to bring it up, you got to know it, right?
Well, I mean, he might. Like, who knows? Like, I feel like Pritchard, like, deep down wants to be a starter. Is that a crazy take?
No, I think it's not a crazy take. I'm just saying. I mean, he's under contract, so
and he's probably comfortable with his position.
Yeah,
right
sure.
now.
But I don't know. I just think him requesting a trade out, doesn't have much leverage there.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess so.
If he was a free agent, sure, he can go somewhere else. But
yeah,
I think
if he was on like a 1 year left in his contract.
Yeah,
when he started that night, he said to on the sideline reporter, Paul Abby Chin, he was like, "Yeah, I don't know if I can do this." Like he was like, because he started, and he was like, "I feel tired. I feel like my bench minutes are good." Like he was like making a joke about it. So who knows if he wants to start right now?
There's also
my bad.
There's also
no, you're good. It's fine,
but like there's also still the future for him for when like Drew Holiday retires. Because Drew Holiday will probably retire in the next 4 years.
Next year, dude's 35, 36.
Yeah, he's 36.
I give him 2.
Yeah.
Well, no. Like probably when his deal ends, and I think he's got 3 years left on his deal, and then I think he would retire after his deal with the Celtics would be done. Yeah. So like maybe Pritchard in the future could maybe be that starting point guard. It could be him and White maybe in the future. Who knows though? Just because like we don't know how the NBA salary cap is going to work. I know there's going to be a 10% increase in the salary cap this season, which will be a little bit interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know what the Celtics' future really holds. But I don't think there's going to be any point of these Kevin Durant rumors. I don't think there's really any point to adding him at all.
Well, Kevin Durant is great. We all know that. But I think with a team like the Celtics, it worked with the Warriors. I understand it did. But I think a team like the Celtics, it's going to take...
We don't have the money.
Well, not only that, it's going to take... Like, I feel like it's going to take time away from Tatum. It's going to take time away from Brown.
Not even that, but we would have to
take reps away from him.
But we would also have to get rid of, like, a player.
Yeah. No, I know.
We would probably have to get rid of somebody.
We don't need Durant. We don't need... I'm sorry, we don't need him.
It'd be nice, but we don't really
It'd be cool, yeah, but...
I was never really a fan, not to cut you off, Jack, but we're running up on the break now. We just spoke about the Celtics, talked a little about the Red Sox prior to that. Had March Madness takes as well. It's been a kind of a slow March Madness and also a slow day as we're approaching opening day tomorrow. You can listen to that on WEI. You can listen to that or watch it on Nesson. and the MLB app. It should be a nice day tomorrow for the Sox and company. We got more coming up. Stephon Diggs, a New England Patriot. We'll see our takes on that. Patriots spent
I'm a great guy. I'm actually a great guy.
Patriots spent a little bit in free agency defensively. We'll talk about the draft, and we'll have a little bit of outlook after that as well. You're listening to the Hall and Hickey Show, live Wednesdays 2 to 4, only on WMLN. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to the Hallal and Hickey Show, Wednesdays 2 to 4, only on WMLN.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
My therapist had told me that I needed to go to AA meetings. I didn't want to go to AA, but I did. And it wasn't what I expected. It was friendly. I could feel the happiness.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hey, son. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
If you came across a child struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age, the way they speak.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
It's not too early to talk to your child about drinking. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. That's underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. This message brought to you by SAMHSA and this station.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Women hear a lot about self-care these days. Advice on ways to relax, exercise, eat healthy, and more. Those are all great. But one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. That means saving money for retirement. It's never too late to start. And it's the kind of self-care that brings peace of mind that lasts. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners. If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Hey, son. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it.
When your kid can't find the language, find the lyrics. Start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
We received the news that nobody wants to hear. Your child has cancer. St. Jude made us feel that everything was gonna be alright.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Kids, they're just different than us. Finally, their cancer treatment will be too. Introducing the Dare to Dream Project from the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Help us transform treatment and care for kids and support all our work at LLS.org.
Today, a new creature walks among us, causing fear, mayhem, and injury.
Stay back, children.
Look out for the dreaded digital deadwalkers. With faces pressed against their little handheld devices, they put all good citizens in harm's way.
Oh, hey, dude. I'm walking here.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see you.
A public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who want to keep everyone well connected with healthy bones.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan today for the tools and tips you need to protect that legacy. That's ready.gov/plan. A message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Dad, I picked up your pills, made your lunch, and your laundry is done.
When you care for a loved one, you take care of everything. But are you taking care of yourself? Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
And I want to make sure that we don't think that this is Stephon Diggs. He's probably going to be more of a guy who can find the soft spot in his own and, just get the space. But that's still more than what they had last year on a consistent basis. But don't you want me to love you? I'm coming down fast, but I'm miles above you.
Welcome you back to the Hallal and Hickey Show, live every Wednesday, 2 to 4. We're back after our 2-week hiatus. Jack Hallal, Declan Hickey, Chuck Lura, your producer on the boards. It's been an interesting offseason for the New England Patriots. They spent big defensively during free agency. They also brought in no other than Stephon Diggs yesterday. It was a 3-year contract worth up to $69 million, $26 million guaranteed. Comes right after Cooper Kupp signed his $25 million guaranteed, so just $1 million more than Cooper Kupp at the tail end of his career after an ACL injury. I'll start with you, Jack. What are your thoughts on Diggs? And we'll go through the free agent class. Jack.
Yeah, I mean, look, I said this day one of free agency when the Celtics just came out firing on all cylinders, signing a bunch of defensive players, and they obviously were on it. Vrabel obviously was on a mission in free agency, and he wanted to sign, and he did, and he spent. And I think Diggs is good. I don't think he's great anymore. I think he's good. But I don't know. I know he didn't have a great relationship with Josh Allen. That's publicized. So, we'll see how he gets along with the second-year guy in Drake May, and we'll see how kind of if Vrabel keeps him in line or not. But I don't hate the signing at all. I mean, we needed a receiver, and he's obviously going to be our number one, and, it's definitely going to be it's definitely a good target and a good weapon for Drake May. And he's obviously a vet, so hopefully he can lead Drake May and teach him to be good. And look, I think people forget in the first couple games on the Texans this past year, Diggs caught like 2 touchdowns, right? And he was on track to having a pretty solid year. Obviously, he got injured, unfortunately.
We had the ACL tear. He is going to be coming off an ACL tear.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. But
yeah, I mean, again, but look, we needed it, and we got a receiver, and I think Diggs is tough. He's aggressive. He fights for those yards, and he has good hands, and so it will be interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Also, not even that he spent, but I think it's the signings that he did is more the more important factor. What I think though is interesting because he went after Harold Landry III, who was a great linebacker there. He also got Robert Spillane from the Raiders, was a good name to get. But yeah, I think getting Diggs was a very crucial part of the mission, just because this free agency class was kind of weak coming out in the wide receiver department. The only other thing was Cooper Kupp, but they didn't end up getting Cooper Kupp. So I think Diggs was the right move for the Patriots. But love that if Vrabel has a plan, Vrabel knows what he wants to do. Vrabel but he signed Diggs, but I think he signed Diggs knowing that, they wouldn't sign a guy if they know he's going to come in and, like, be a nuisance to the organization.
Or be a drama queen.
I don't think he would, yeah. Like, I think he wouldn't want a guy who would be a diva or, like, a drama queen. Like, I think they probably had a good meeting. They met in Foxborough, I think, over the weekend or last week.
He was in Foxborough for quite some time.
Yeah, so I think
he flew in last Wednesday, I think, right?
Yeah, or something. And he must have had a great meeting with Kraft, with both the Krafts, with Vrabel, all the offensive coordinators. So I think it's a great move, but I also think the other moves they made on the defensive strategy were good, like getting Milton Williams, Harold Landry, Robert Spillane, getting I can't remember the cornerback's name that we just signed.
Carlton Davis, which strengthens that cornerback core with him and a Gonzalez, even having Marcus Jones in there.
Right.
So, I think he's had a great plan, and he's been good on his promises so far.
So what's your overall thoughts on the class, especially now? So you got Harold Landry, top it off. Milton Williams, Stephon Diggs, Harold Landry, Robert Spillane,
Morgan
Moses, Carlton Davis. Then you get to the Josh Dobbs of the class, where it's like, all right, it's kind of just like
the
fill-ins.
Patriots.
They just re-signed Christian Ellis, which is good depth at linebacker. What's the outlook now defensively for the Patriots? Do they look good?
I think this defense looks way better than it has. I came into the offseason saying, "Oh, there's not really that many improvements we really had to make on defense," but then I realized we kind of did, and this makes the linebacker core is going to be insane to deal with. We kind of had our struggles in the linebacker core last year. It made massive improvements to the defensive line by getting a guy like Milton Williams, and then getting rid of a guy like Godshaw, just to free up what we had on that line. I think it's made the defensive line. I think it's made us to our cornerback core to be in top 10, maybe in the top 5. Now that we have a guy like Davis and Christian Gonzalez, coming off of his best year last year, so it'll be very interesting. And yeah, I think this defense, I'm not saying they're going to be the best, but I think this puts them to maybe in that kind of top 10 defense range.
You also got that new defensive coordinator in Williams as well. It's going to be good to see what Terrell does with his group. Jack, what's your take on this defense? Are they going to be better than last year? Obviously, they should be. And is it going to be a strong part of this new Vrabel regime?
I think I think this defense will be a powerhouse. I really do. I think these players want to play hard for Vrabel, and I know a couple of them have said, Vrabel was a big reason why I came to play for this organization and play for this team,
right.
So they love Vrabel, and I think our defense was already good. It wasn't great, it was good, right? Yeah. And it's been good. Even the years our offense hasn't been great, our defense was always better. So, it was a little surprising that they targeted only defensive players the first day of free agency, but we did get Diggs, so that is another offensive move, and now we just kind of got to be offensive-oriented going into the draft, and then I don't think there's any problem with it. Do I think we're going to, do I think we go from winning 2 games to winning 10 games? No, not necessarily. I think we can win close to, 8 for sure. I don't know if
but it wouldn't be that much of a surprise if they were in the hunt for that last wild card spot.
It wouldn't be a surprise. It wouldn't be, and I think this is kind of going to be one of those years where new guys have come in and they haven't played with each other yet. But I think it's just going to be one of those years where they just kind of get along and just play together and just play well together. And I think, I've heard from numerous receivers, including Tyreek Hill, that has said Christian Gonzalez is a stud, and he's going to be a top cornerback in the league when he keeps improving. And so I think people are. I think quarterbacks are already kind of scared throwing to Christian Gonzalez. I think he
had a great year against his matchups last year. He did very good against the top wide receivers. Yep. I think when he was guarding Tyreek Hill, he held Tyreek Hill, I think, to 2 catches and something pretty low for a guy like Tyreek Hill, who's one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Yeah. Again, look, so obviously our secondary is good, but I think we can't kind of, downgrade or generalize our D line. I think Milton Williams, obviously we saw what he did in the Super Bowl. He was a stud.
Yep. Barmore gonna have to.
Barmore, I think, is gonna have to step up. But I also think someone who can step up and someone who really wants to win because of one of his last interviews of last season. I think Keon White really wants to play well.
That's a great name.
Big one.
I think he was right. You guys saw that interview, right? He was upset.
Yeah, and everyone in Boston media was upset that a guy on his own team was upset with the fact that they weren't doing well.
Right.
It was unbelievable.
So I think he's mad, and I think he wants to have a breakout season. I think this D-line is going to be something special. I think it's going to be hard to run against us. It's going to be hard for a Mahomes, a Lamar, a Josh Allen to scramble against us. And I think these D linemen are just ready to play. They're ready to get after it. They're ready to win. And Keon White, I think, wants it more than anyone right now.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about the Patriots and what they've done in the offseason and now looking towards the draft. We had our mock drafts ready, and then we thought, well, it's been weeks, so what's really the point of doing those mock drafts if it's not going to really correlate or line up with what's going on today? Jack, hit us with what happened yesterday. Who signed with the Giants, and what is the trajectory change now for the draft?
Yeah, look, Russell Wilson signed with the Giants last night, and, I was telling Chuck and Declan this prior to the show. My brother and I were sitting in the same room, and when the news broke, we looked at each other at the same time and said, there goes Travis. I think, obviously Travis was maybe supposed to fall to number 4 prior to the Russell Wilson trade. That's what a lot of folks had him at in the mock draft. And I think it's all making sense now that, okay, you have maybe a future Hall of Famer in Russell Wilson. Maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. You have a guy, Russell Wilson, who obviously it wasn't not nearly as good as he used to be. He used to be great. But he's still Russell Wilson, and he can make plays. And I think that with Malik Neighbors, I find it hard to believe that the Giants are going to go from someone other than Travis and put Travis with Malik Neighbors. And I just have a weird, everything I've seen with Travis, and I know it's not football related, but Travis and his girlfriend and just, some drama like that. I just think New York is kind of the place for him, honestly. I think, the people talk about him. He's a big name. He's a big shot. I think New York is a place for him. I think he's planning on going to New York, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's a great player, but personally, I don't like any drama with athletes and their families and relationships. I think it's a distraction. And so if the Giants want to deal with that, so be it. But I think it's almost now, I think it's a given that the Giants will take Travis at 3.
Yeah, I think they'll probably pick him. I mean, I don't really think he has that much controversy. I think that's just the media and people trying to make a bigger deal out of things than it is. I don't necessarily think New York's the best fit. I actually with no bias, still think the Patriots would be a better fit for him than the Giants anyways. Just because I feel like he fits into the Patriots organization more. I think he's even talked about liking the idea of playing for Drake May. I think he would probably like to be on the Patriots more than the Giants, just because the Patriots have more certain future, while as the Giants, they get Russell Wilson. It's still a 1-year deal though, so it'll be interesting. Could the Giants maybe now they won't pick a guy like Sanders. Maybe towards the back end of the draft, would they pick a guy like Milrow? Would they pick a guy like Dart, or would they pick a guy like Aller or something like that? It would be very interesting what the Giants do. I think the Patriots, as of right now, it'll probably be Abdul Carter sitting there, and I think they would go best available. I don't think there'd be any way that they pass up on a generational talent like Abdul Carter, even though a guy like Will Campbell could be a good name, but I think they could obviously do a thing like trade, and then maybe trade back up in the later end of the first round, get a lineman, and then in the second round or third round draft a wide receiver. There's a guy like Egbuka, a guy like Burden, who are 2 names you could throw out there. So I kind of like that idea.
Well, and Chuck, I know you want to chime in, so I'm just going to make this quick, but I wouldn't be surprised, obviously, with an Abdul Carter pick. Vrabel was a defenseman himself, and he would, I think, work great with Carter, and I think Carter would love Vrabel. But I can see us picking a receiver and kind of Vrabel being like, all right, Josh, I saw what you did with Edelman and all those guys. See what you can do with a stud at 4, a stud receiver at 4. See what you can do with him, and you have your future quarterback. My trust is going to be put on you. I think there's going to be a lot of trust in Josh Allen, put in Josh McDaniels from Vrabel. I wouldn't be surprised if he says, "Hey, I'm going to get Tet McMillan or another stud receiver," and be like, "Josh, let me see what you can do with him. We have Diggs. Let's get another receiver, and let's get a D-line later in the draft." I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, we talked a little bit about the Patriots draft and kind of what they're looking towards. I think I have my 2 cents coming up next when we do the NFL Draft Outlook instead of our mock drafts, of course. Listen to the Hallal and Hickey Show live Wednesdays 2 to 4 only on WMLN. We'll be right back after this. Quick break. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the Hallal and Hickey Show, Wednesdays 2 to 4 only on WMLN.
Why you gotta do me like that?
I love this song! I love nachos.
Loving everything? You might be buzzed.
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzz warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Within 15 seconds of logging onto social media, the algorithm has your daughter in its crosshairs. Congress knows, but it refuses to act. Use your voice. Demand a plan. Join us at the Center for Countering Digital Hate, protectingkidsonline.org.
United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is America's largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. For more information or to see how you can help, please visit usdeputy.org.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance, reminding you that when you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
As you go about your daily life, look closer. Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. Covenant House is the national leader providing safe housing for youth, 50 years strong. Every youth who walks into Covenant House gets clean clothes, hot meals, medical care, and a safe place to sleep. So, look closer at Covenant House and help us fight youth homelessness. To help or get help, go to covenanthouse.org.
If you love them enough to sit through their favorite boy band with them, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. I'm Michael Naranjo, and I'm a veteran. Today, I'm a sculptor. My fingers are my eyes.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
With DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Serving in Afghanistan, I was shot in the head by sniper fire. I was given a 5% chance to live. I'm Adam Alexander, and I'm a veteran. Today, I visit classrooms and share my story. I tell kids that with a little help and a lot of work, that you can overcome any challenge.
DAV helps veterans like Adam get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is being there for the next generation.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
While serving in Iraq, our vehicle was hit. They didn't think I was going to make it.
I'm LaToya Lucas, and I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
DAV helps veterans like LaToya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
I asked what kind of family she wanted. She said, a family like yours.
Learn more about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Hallal and Hickey Show, Wednesdays 2 to 4, only on WMLN. Now, for your hosts, Jack Hallal and Declan Hickey.
Whatever goes around eventually comes back to you. So you gotta be careful, baby, and look both ways before you cross my mind.
You're listening to the Hallal and Hickey Show live Wednesdays 2 to 4 only on WMLN 91.5. You can watch our video on demand on YouTube at Hallal and Hickey, A-N-D in between. Time chapters are in the link in the description below, as well as topics of what we talked about. You can find us all over social media at Hallal and Hickey, A-N-D in between. 2 L's and Hallal, of course. Instagram and all over the place where you can find us. It's been an interesting show today. A little gloomy outside. You know, after the storm, Caliucci, Style the Creator, one of my favorite songs playing here today on air. And we had talked a lot today. We had March Madness. We had the Red Sox. They set their lineup. Kristian Campbell makes the opening day roster. Back into the rotation, we didn't talk about Dick Fitz or Sean Newcomb enough, but I'm sure next time we can talk a little bit more. We had our season predictions as well. We talked about the Celtics. They've been kind of cruising, but now Tatum with the injury. We'll see what happens there. The Cavs are sliding a little bit. They'll probably make their way back and stay at the 1 seed. And we also talked about Diggs, how the Patriots spent big. A lot to talk about on this show after we missed about a week and about 2 shows, actually. I was out in South Carolina. Shout out Gabby, graduated from the Army. Go Army. Hoorah. Now we got a little bit to talk about the NFL draft outlook. We talked about the Patriots, but now we're going to dive even deeper into the depths of the NFL draft. Jack, what do you have the Patriots doing at 4 now after we saw the signings happen yesterday at quarterback, and that things will fall into place because good old friend Gerard Mayo decided to put us in a place with the 4th overall pick. Jack, what do you think the Pats are going to do?
No, from what I've seen in the start of free agency and kind of just Vrabel kind of having a mentality of let's just get as many good players as we can. I think if he's there, I think teams have 10 minutes, right, to pick?
Is it 10?
Or is it 5?
It's 10. Yeah, it's 10.
I think if Carter's there by our pick by 8 minutes, the pick's going to be in and it's Abdul Carter for the Patriots. I just think Vrabel look, people forget he drafted AJ Brown, he drafted Derrick Henry. He knows good talent, and I think he would work great, fantastic with Abdul Carter. So I think if he's there, minute and a half. Even Rich Eisen and Mike Mayock, they're going to be, and let's listen to the commissioner very quickly. So that's my take.
Yeah, I think if like Abdul Carter's sitting there, then that's probably the move. I don't really see anything else really to go down, unless I don't know, the Browns pull like a 180, don't pick a quarterback, and they go with like Hunter, and then Abdul Carter somehow gets off the board. In like that situation, I doubt that would happen. But if that did happen, maybe they would trade down for like and draft a lineman. But like I think the obvious pick's gonna be Abdul Carter. There's nothing else around that since what the Giants' moves have been made. So I think if Carter's sitting there, instantly gonna pick him.
Now we'll talk a little bit about something I'm excited about. It's just the order and what teams are looking to do. Who's trading back? Is it inevitable? For the Patriots, I mean, I talked about it with you guys. I really think it's in their best interest to stick and pick best available at 4 and not pick based out of need. Elliot Wolf was quoted saying they're not going to pick based off of need. They're going to pick best available. Sometimes that's done to throw teams off. Sometimes that's done because they're just saying exactly what they're doing. You never know. I think for the Patriots, they should take Abdul Carter if he falls at 4, take Travis Hunter if he falls to 4, and then trade back into the first, like I said in pre-show, and get one of the tackles if they feel comfortable with Ozzie Trapillo or somebody else in the second at 38. It's a pretty high draft pick. I think they're going to take a tackle there. But if you want to get the best talent available, you trade back into the first, maybe get a top 20 pick, and get a tackle in that situation. What are you guys' thoughts on that? I'll start with you, Declan.
I actually like the sound of that. I kind of had mentioned that earlier in the show, like what your plan was like that. So I kind of really like that plan. I think best available is definitely the way in this draft class, just because a generational talent like Abdul Carter or a generational talent like Travis Hunter is going to be in your team's best interest and for the future to do that. But I do like the idea of trading back into the top 20, maybe top 25, and getting another lineman to strengthen that core that definitely needs like an offensive lineman for the future, and definitely need somewhat of talent at offensive line right now.
So I kind of talked about it before as well. Man, my voice has been killing me today. I think the Patriots offense, as much as they have been improving, it's still a really scary front for May. Meaning, David Andrews failed his physical. We hadn't covered that, but he failed his physical, got cut. That's what happens in football. If you can't pass a physical, I'll kind of show you, Jack, what a physical is like for football. They go like this. They check your forehead. Can you move your arm? Okay, you passed. If you can't pass that, that's
what it is.
I'm saying that's Belichick has said it like that. It's kind of like, can you walk? Can you run? Just simple stuff. And if he can't do that, and it's kind of it for Andrews. He's been an incredible asset for the team. And I'll give you kind of my outlook at what the offensive line is, and we'll talk about it. It's scary. Left tackle, there's a big question mark at left tackle right now. There's nobody there except for Vidarian Lowe, 58 overall PFF rating, one of the worst tackles in the NFL. Left guard, Cole Strange, Layden Robinson, Sidney Sow, it's just a rotating door there. Then the Patriots went out and signed Garrett Bradbury, who just got cut by the Vikings. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. He was on the Vikings. He was a decent run blocker and a terrible pass blocker. He had a 48 rate on the pass block and a 74, 75 on the run block. I do all this off PFF. That right guard, of course, Mike Onwenu had a down year last year. He's going to be good at right guard. And then Morgan Moses, right tackle. We finally have a veteran right tackle that is very average and can play the position well. But to you guys, we're talking about all this talent in this draft. Your left side of your line, and potentially even your center, isn't even solidified yet. What does that mean for Drake May and his offense? Let's go Declan.
It's obviously a big concern. It's obviously that people could be confused with the best available, but I think they'll probably want to draft a left tackle. I think they'll probably I think the whole draft could just be offense. I think the whole draft could
It's definitely possible.
I think they could just go, let's draft 2 wide receivers, let's draft a tackle, a guard, and maybe even a center, and then maybe even 2 tackles at that point. But I think they'll only draft 1 guard, because I think Cole Strange is decent enough, kind of, but not really. But
I don't even know if he's going to start, to be completely honest.
I don't even know, but
I think he's battling for the center spot is what he's going to do, not even to play guard.
Yeah, so that's why I can see that maybe they draft 2 wide receivers, 2 tackles, 2 guards, a center, and then see what's available from there. Maybe they could do something in defense just for the fun of it in the later rounds. But yeah, I think there could be a very possibility of just them going all in on the offense, even though could they maybe have signed better offensive linemen? Maybe, but the offensive lineman market is so hard in this day and age. It's very difficult to sign somebody.
Exactly. You won't ever get someone that you honestly want because of how tough the market is. And also, people were talking about Cam Robinson. There was an issue there with the work ethic that if you wanted to plug and play, I'm sure, but you don't really want a guy in there like Trent Brown who's not going to play just because the team isn't doing well, especially when you're in the middle of a rebuild. The only person I think the Patriots missed out on is a guy like Mekhi Becton, who ended up on the Chargers. That's a left guard you could have. He played left tackle for the Jets, went to the Eagles, was unbelievable in the interior, and he didn't even get paid that much, so that kind of shook me in a wrong way. Jack, tell me about what you think the Patriots are going to do now, especially with the offensive line. Talk about the question marks there and your opinion on what they could potentially do in the draft and also in trade.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I think, again, I want Abdul Carter if he's there. I think we take him, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we went Will Campbell, with the 4th pick, honestly.
Sure, yeah.
And, it's just something that I wouldn't be surprised, that the Patriots do. But our O-line is we got to fix it. I mean, it's awful. It's really, really awful. And I think if you have a guy like Drake May, who obviously has proven he's mobile, I think you want to keep him as healthy as possible. And he unfortunately got hit pretty hard last year against the Jets, and he left the game with a concussion. I know that was not in the pocket, and he was running and he got hit, but I think whatever you need to do to protect him and get him healthy and stay healthy, and honestly, that's the one thing I give Tom Brady. He was always playing. Really, other than that 1 year he tore his ACL, he was always under center for us. And I think if that's the case with Drake May, I think we're going to see – I'm not saying this at all because I don't think we'll ever see a career like Tom Brady again, but I think we'll see a tenure of constant starts with Drake May that we did with Brady. And again, I don't know whether you trade, for an offensive lineman. You're probably going to have to if you draft Carter. But I wouldn't be surprised if we go with Campbell at 4. But we got to protect Drake May.
I really think without playing, you can't be a good quarterback. I mean, that's just you have to play, right? You can't be a good player if you can't play, right? So when you bringing up May, 2 times he got banged up because of his offensive line, right? And if you just cover this side of your left eye, and you look at the right side of the line, you're like, okay, I got something there. I got Mike Onwenu and Morgan Moses.
And then you look to the other side.
And then
it's just about building it out.
And then you look at the other side of the line, and it's 2 me's out there.
Exactly. So I think, because of the BC and Dante Scarnecchia connection, the 2 linemen in this draft, and Ozzie Trapillo at left tackle and right tackle, he can play both sides, and Drew Kendall, the center from BC. I really think they're going to take those linemen if they can, because Scarnecchia has worked with them throughout the entire season last year and also this leading into the draft. So there's just too much connection there for me not to see a Drew Kendall get drafted or Ozzie Trapillo. Ozzie Trapillo, a massive human being, a body blocker. I mean, he could play tackle really well. And Drew Kendall, he can be an NFL starter. I mean, if that's your ceiling, then that's a good ceiling to have, especially an offensive line that's struggling to get put together. So I guess we'll see what the Patriots look to do on that end of things. We're going to take maybe a quick break before we get into the guess the player. It's going to be a speed round. It's going to be 10 minutes worth of that, and then we'll head into what's next. And that's kind of the show, guys. I mean, this show's felt like it flew by today.
100%.
So we'll take a really, really quick break, and then we'll be back here on the Hallal and Hickey Show, live Wednesdays 2 to 4, only on WMLN.
You're listening to the Hallal and Hickey Show, Wednesdays 2 to 4, only on WMLN.
Hi, I'm Kathy Bates. People sometimes ask what I've learned in my 2-time battle with cancer. 1 is that with the right treatment, you can beat it. 2 is that it's not just cancer you're battling. You also need to anticipate LE, lymphedema, a disease that can leave those who undergo cancer treatment with a lifetime of swelling and pain. If you're facing a cancer diagnosis, discuss lymphedema with your doctor. With knowledge and action, we can learn and live. Learn more at lymphaticnetwork.org.
Dear Hero, thank you for donating plasma. I recently moved off the reservation, which meant a lot of stress, and that set a spiral of attacks. I take the plasma injections bi-weekly, and I haven't had any attacks since trying it. It's just gone. Because of you, I feel amazing.
Giving equals living. Give plasma. Replenish the supply. Learn more at hhs.gov/giveplasma. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Get on board. The water is open. It's time to go boating and fishing and leave stress in our wake. Feel the wind as we ride and a fish on the line. Reel in our first catch and feel the sun at our backs. It's get out on the water season. It's time to get on board. Find out where to get on board near you. Visit Take Me Fishing and Discover Boating to learn more. And please recreate responsibly. Get on board. Get on board.
My name is Jinhui Zhang. I'm the chair of a computational biology department at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. As a data scientist, I feel so excited about seeing the potential impact, not only on the kids treated at St. Jude, but across the world. And I think this is a great use of the trust we got from our donors.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Was this young man hit by a car?
Yes, and his helmet is smashed.
It's probably a fake. Fakes cause real harm. You're smart. Buy smart.
Go for real.
Brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council and the U.S. Patent and
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
It's not too early to talk to your child about drinking. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. That's underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. This message brought to you by SAMHSA and this station.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
I felt so alone, scared, angry. I just wanted to die. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Man, you always getting full. We're back here on WMLN 91.5 Curry College Radio. Hallal and Hickey Show, live Wednesdays 2 to 4. Duke Dennis. We got a lot, not a lot coming up, but we have some things coming up. Guess the players up next. What's next is up next, which always gets filtered out because Jack's always screaming because he's mad about something. But this week, no crash outs this week because we already had a valid one on last Friday when I wasn't here. Anyways.
We did?
Yeah, we had one in class.
Yeah. And pre-show with.
By the way,
sitting
no, we can't. We need to guess the player. We need to do this.
Love that opener though.
We need to do this.
Like, love that opener.
I care about attendance. I want to get there on
Love
time.
that opener though.
Thank you so much.
I like that.
Okay, guys.
Shout out the big drop.
We got a new. We have a new segment here. Jack came up with pre-show because we had a 10-minute slot, and I said, "Jack, what do you got?" And he said, "Jack, I think we should do guest player." So I'm like, "Okay." No grinds, my gears. We're gonna actually start with you, Declan, at the end of this table here.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna do a little random athlete generator, and then I'm gonna give you.
I feel like I'm bad at these.
Okay, well you're good at trivia, so I mean, I can't do random athlete because it's gonna throw you off a little too much.
Yeah.
So we'll start today with random football player.
Okay.
How about that? And then that can give you a little bit more of a idea of what we're looking for.
Okay.
You see my phone here. I'm utilizing that because my laptop is actually our switcher for our YouTube, not television. Okay, Declan.
Okay.
Guess the player. His first team, the New York Jets.
Okay.
His second team, the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
Third team, the San Francisco 49ers. His fourth, the Minnesota Vikings. And his fifth, the Seahawks. He plays quarterback.
Quarterback. Could you run through one more time?
Jets, team 1. Panthers, team 2. Niners, team 3. Vikings, team 4. Seahawks, team 5. He's a quarterback.
Oh, Sam Darnold. That's too easy.
Okay, that's that one. We got to start somewhere, right?
That's a little too easy.
You got to start somewhere.
I don't think we're keeping score, though, for this. We're just...
No, yeah. Okay, now Jack.
I don't want to. Anyways.
Jack, this player plays on the offensive line. His first team was with the New England Patriots, his second team with the Kansas City Chiefs, and now with the Chicago Bears.
Tooney!
Why is it so low? Yeah, you got that right. Nice call.
Loud though, like lower your voice.
Sorry, I knew it.
That's
when
okay.
I heard offensive lineman, I was like,
Is this ding working, though? It's not.
Yeah, put it all the way up.
Yeah, I am. Dude. Yeah, our thing... Now it's working.
You found it.
Yeah, it's crazy because usually this presenter works, but that's not working today. Sometimes boards don't work.
We did it.
They just don't. Okay, Declan, guess the player. We did it. Green Bay Packers team 1.
Okay.
Raiders team 2.
Okay.
Jets team 3. Rams team 4. He's a wide receiver.
Oh, Devontae Adams.
Yeah, these are just too easy, I think, for now.
I feel like this is going to...
All right, let me scroll down a little bit.
way too easy.
Let me scroll down a little bit.
Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams.
Jack. I don't even know what this team...
By that reaction, I'm scared. I'm scared.
He's a quarterback.
Okay.
He played with the Pittsburgh Steelers Football Club from 1957 to 1959. Then he played with the Browns from 1960 to 1961, and then the Chiefs from 62 to 75.
Not that old.
Just give it a guess, man.
62 to 65 was the Chiefs?
Yeah. 62 to 75.
Ooh. Bradshaw.
It was Len Dawson.
Yeah,
no one's getting that. No one is getting that, by the way.
Declan.
I don't even think Ken can get that.
Shout out Ken Carberry. Declan.
Oh, no.
First, this guy's a running back.
Okay.
He played with the Saints from 2011 to 2018. He played with the Baltimore Ravens from 2019 to 2020, the Texans in 2021, and the Saints from 2021 to 2022.
Oh, Mark Ingram. Second? Yeah.
I'll give you an easier one here, Jack, after I gave you Len Dawson.
Len Dawson.
I bet he's rolling around in his grave.
Oh, my God. Respect him, though, but yeah.
Oh, well, what he said in pre-show, that you're too old.
Yeah, I know.
Now you're rolling in your grave. All right. A little different. Okay, Jack.
Yeah.
This player is a linebacker. He played for the Seahawks in 2012 to 2021, the Rams in 22, the Seahawks in 23, and the Commanders in 24.
Come on.
Let me hear it again.
Seahawks, Rams, Seahawks, Commanders.
And he's a linebacker.
Bobby Wagner.
Yes, sir. There you go. There you go.
These are easy in the beginning, right?
Yeah, these are a little easy.
Okay, we'll get a little harder now.
Yeah,
Declan.
A little too easy.
This guy's a defensive lineman.
Okay.
Played with the Seahawks in 2015 to 2017, the Chiefs from 2019 to 2022, the Broncos in 23, and the Seahawks in 23.
And he's a
defensive lineman.
Like tackle or end? Or do you not know?
End.
Can you say the teams one more time?
I think I know.
Seahawks 2015 to 2018, Chiefs 2019 to 2022, Broncos 2023, and the Seahawks in 2023 as well. He played on 2 teams. He hasn't played since.
Is it 2015 played this? Okay.
I should have the music rolling now. What am I doing?
Yeah, I don't even.
Family Feud, classic.
This is gonna be so wrong and so off. No, it's.
Just try.
People are gonna look at me sideways. I know this wrong. Brandon Membrane.
No, it's Frank Clark.
Oh, I forgot.
Guy that went off sides in the AFC Championship game that led the Patriots to win.
I didn't know he played for the Seahawks, though. I didn't know he
that wasn't that guy.
That's Frank Clark, yeah. That was Clark. That was offsides.
I thought that was D Ford.
Ah, that's right. You caught me. It was D Ford.
Huh.
2 random players.
Shout out Brandon Membrane, though.
No, shout out Jack for that poll.
No, shout out. That's not much of a poll, but Brandon Membrane, Madden legend. If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Jack.
Yeah.
This guy was a safety on the Chargers from 2007 to 2015, the Baltimore Ravens from 2016 to 2018, and the Rams 2019 and 2021. He came out of retirement.
This is good.
Eric Waddle.
That's the easy one.
I gave you too much on the retirement piece, I think. All right, we get a couple more in us. Declan.
Yes, Yes, sir.
This player was a wide receiver that played for the Miami Dolphins from 2014 to 2017, Cleveland Browns from 2018 to 2021, and the Saints in 2022.
Jarvis Landry. That's just too easy.
I gotta find like this. I can't even find. That's just too easy.
It's hard to. The only difficult one you found was like Lee Dawson, and then that was it.
Well, Jack just saw that one, so I can't give him that one.
Jack,
Oh my god, and you're not gonna get this one. Who even is? I don't even know who this player is.
Did you ask both of us this one?
Sure, I'll ask both of you. All right, guys.
Okay, so working together. Okay.
Yeah. This guy played for the Seahawks in 2022. He's a linebacker.
Okay.
The Bucks in 2023 to 2024, and the Cardinals in 2024.
He's a linebacker.
He's a linebacker.
And he played from what years?
22 to 24. He played on the Seahawks, Bucks, and Cardinals.
So he was a rookie in 2022.
I think so.
What are we thinking? Because I'm drawing a blank.
I originally thought of Ndamukong Suh, but
He's not a linebacker.
He's not a linebacker.
I thought he was.
He's a defensive lineman, dude. Come on, he's a nose.
Same thing, dude.
No, it's not at all.
They're both in different parts. Okay, he's
It's your last one, so you got to get it.
He's a rookie.
You're not going to get it. It's just a random player.
Hold on. Seahawks, Bucks,
Cardinals.
And he was drafted to the Seahawks.
In 22.
Oh! The guy with the...
No, it's not Shaquem Griffin.
Okay, dude.
It's not Shaquem. Because Shaquem went to the...
At least I'm actually guessing.
Got one more guess in you.
Wait,
Is he...
No.
Okay.
Does he have any, like...
He literally...
Anything to his name?
He's a healthy scratch every game.
What does healthy scratch mean?
He's a healthy scratch. He's healthy, but he gets
Now,
scratched from the game.
I
He
don't
wears
know.
a sweatsuit on the sideline.
Is he still on the Cardinals?
Yes.
I got no idea.
The answer is V.I. Jones, the linebacker.
I have a friend who's a Cardinal fan, and he probably doesn't even know that.
Okay, guys. Well, that brings us kind of to the end of the show. We have What's Next. One of the... I just wrote What's the Next, by the way. That's great grammar for me.
I like that.
Guys, how was today's show? And then we'll talk What's Next. You guys enjoy it? Are you guys tired? What's the vibe today?
I'm exhausted. I thought it was a very civil show between Declan and I. We got along for once, actually. No grinds.
Nothing was grinding your gears in this one.
Yeah, so maybe it's a good day.
No,
maybe it is a good day.
It was a good day, but I got a 2.5-hour class coming up. And
shout out Ken, by the way, on that.
Shout out Ken. He's listening to us. He has actually a speaker above his head, and
he definitely can hear us.
Probably about 35, 37 yards down the hallway. So
that's a really specific call.
I don't think he's 37 yards down.
Shout out Ken, but
I don't think he's 37 yards down. It's a lot.
Okay, we need to actually get going. Declan, what's next?
March Madness this weekend. It's gonna be a movie.
Yep.
It's gonna be a movie, Sweet 16.
That's what they say. Ain't that what they do?
Ain't that what they say? Shout out.
Ain't that what they do?
Shout out the GOAT and LeBron. But that'll be good. Games start at 7 for each time, Thursday and Friday. So Red Sox opening day, obviously the big one tomorrow. The big one. So very, very packed day. You got the Red Sox opening day, and then you also got the first day of the Sweet 16 after the Red Sox game. So a very big day tomorrow. The weekend. Celtics getting ready for whatever. They're on a 6-game win streak as of right now. Going to the game tonight against the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix tonight. Probably going to say the second seed, but be pretty interesting this weekend for sports.
Not Declan. Jack.
Yep.
What's next?
So Declan pretty much said it the best, but I will say this: I think it's important to note. Curry college men's hockey in the national championship Division III semifinals this weekend.
Where at?
It's in Utica, New York. If they win on Friday, then they play.
And they are playing Utica.
They play for that bling bling on Sunday night.
That bling.
Hey, I just want to. I heard something this past week that I really is stuck in my head, and I love it.
What is
it? And it's something said from somebody in this room, but our goalie Shane Soderwall has been playing absolutely tremendous hockey.
The Great Wall of Soderwall.
I love it. I wish we had that on tape. But shout out to that Curry hockey team. They're playing great, and hopefully they can come back on Monday to campus with some hardware.
Here's what's next for me. Nothing. The Sox play tomorrow. Watch them. The boys will be back in town after this week. Oh, they're on
Four-game series.
They're on a big freaking road trip, so I guess we'll wait on that. Sorry, Deck.
And then they're going to freeze in Baltimore.
Exactly.
But hey,
20 degrees.
April 4th is going to be a movie. That's all I know.
That's all we got here on Hallal and Hickey Show, Episode 8. We're back. Bang! It's going to be a great show next week. Tune in on Wednesday, 2 to 4. You can listen to us on the TuneIn app if you're streaming. And if you're in your vehicle or you like transmitting radio waves, 91.5, your local station in Massachusetts. The best on the South Shore, Jack Hallal, Declan Hickey, Chuck LaRossi on the boards for one more time. We'll be back next week.
Swamp Izzo.
Swamp Izzo.
Oh, yeah. All right, don't do romancing. One more time, you gotta run.